Hi, welcome everyone to our Mental Health Mondays. We are so excited to have another presenter with us. We have Linda, and today she will be presenting on the aging process in today's generation. And so I look forward to getting all of this knowledge about the aging process in today's generation. Linda?
Okay, thank you. And I'm Linda, and I'm a doctoral student from the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. And I chose this topic because of the changes that I have noticed in the older generation of today, and then also noticed the differences between the younger generation and the acceptance of the older generation. So I'm going to talk about at first the past and the present. Just one moment. It is a common belief that as the world turns, human beings goes around with it and changes the world as it ages. So also the same as the world changes, the human beings that populate that world also changes. The problem with the older generation today is how is it accepted in today's generation? So let me just talk about that. What changes has come about with the world and the human population? Uh, the human population is the most intelligent, actually, living in this earth. It is the human being's potential and our capacity for physical, mental, and social activities, and our strength and our persistency in surviving, the survival of the fittest that makes the world, the earth, go around and aids along with us in it. As the world changes, we know that the mountains now, with the weather changes, there's so many changes in our world today. The weather changes a lot. The population changes. Everything changes as it ages. Aging is a global problem that is facing the world today. A lot of older people are living longer, and the resources that has been prepared is no longer working because of the rapidly increasing numbers and needs of the aging generation. And the younger generation is not prepared for it. There are not enough younger generation workers to be able to support the older generation, especially in the United States. The Social Security, some of you probably hears that the Social Security is probably going to be phased out someday because there is not enough resources there to pay the older generation. And then also the younger generation today are the here and now generation. They're not thinking about when they get older. It's a new concept now that they're embracing. The future is not really in their minds too much, and it's how you live today that matters to them, enjoying what is here and now. And the future does not belong to those who prepare for it anymore. It's how you enjoy what you are receiving right now, and the future will take care of itself. The now generation are not prepared to take care of their older generation as in the past. It used to be, I don't know if some of you remembers that the older generation are taken care of by the family. So they don't have to worry about what becomes of them then they get old, because they would live with their families that take care of the younger ones at the beginning, so that when they get old, then they will be taken care of in turn. That concept is no longer in vogue as of right now. That concept is, the younger generation is not really too interested about how they're going to take care of their older people, because they have their own lives to think about. They have their own future to think about. And so consequently, there's quite a few older generations that are still, they have a problem with taking care of themselves. And if you look around, there's a lot of old people that are homeless because they didn't know how to take care of themselves. The older generation of today is not ready to accept the younger generation. We live in this society that has a fixation of looking younger. The economy is booming from the elixir of youth. You know, if you watch the media, you know, there's always an advertisement about how to look young, how to keep fit, so that you could still do a lot of things even when you're of retirement age. There's cosmetic surgeries to enhance, to make yourself younger. There's implants to make your body better, or there are exercises, machines that could give you more muscles, and other ways to preserve youth, to live longer, or even just to survive. So we prolong death as much as we can. The big question is it possible to find happiness and contentment as we age now? It used to be that the older generation find happiness with their family, their grandchildren, being part of the family, because they would be living together. So they have the chance to be close to each other. But it's no longer that. The children have their own lives and they have their own family. And the older generation now has residential places where they could go to and live and grow old there. So it's a different concept of living altogether. So here's some of the things that I have compiled to how are we going to be doing it in our old age. First, we need to accept that we as human beings do not last forever, and the world that we call Earth today probably will not last forever. There's always scientists giving us information that maybe the Earth will explode someday, and that's why we have some innovative ideas of maybe going to another planet to see what's out there in the other planets, in case something like that happens. There are also changes in our bodies, in our psychological, in our mental health. Our memory is not as sharp as it used to be when we become old. our attention span is less. So it used to be that we could be paying attention to almost everything that's around us, but now it's kind of limited. However, intelligence does not change. So that's something that I think that the younger generation needs to know about the older generation, is that the older generation's intelligence is still the same, even though they might become forgetful or they might not remember things, but the intelligence does not change. The fluid intelligence might deteriorate, and the fluid intelligence is learning new things. So, for example, technology. It's difficult for older generation compared to younger generation to embrace technology right away. It's more difficult for them to know what to click. I know I have the same problem myself. My age, it's if I don't practice, then I don't know how to proceed. I don't know how to troubleshoot, because that is fluid intelligence, learning new things. You could learn it, however, it might be slower. Mental health might decline, and this is what is important with this topic of Mental Health Mondays, that the older generation, there's more talk about older generations being alone, and so depression sets in. They become very lonely, because especially when they are living by themselves, and because the children have their own lives then, and they're busy, so they can't really pay attention all the time to their older people. So consequently, the older people become very lonely, and maybe their friends have passed away, or their partner have passed away, and there's not that many people that they have maintained contact with. So loneliness comes in. Physical problems as well. Physical problems, maybe they can't walk too well anymore. There's a lot of aches and pains in the body. There's maybe physical disabilities and other things that they couldn't do anymore because their body won't let them do it. Also injuries like falls. Older people could fall, their balance is not there anymore, so they could fall very easily and injure themselves. And also there's dementia, where the cognitively it's difficult for them to remember things, and with dementia there's a problem of even recognizing their immediate family. And then the wear and tear of the body, it's because they've used it for all this time, then the bones, the muscles, of course, are no longer, they've overused it. So it's no longer the same way as it was. Being in a wheelchair is really kind of depressing, because you can't really do too much anymore. So there's depression sets in when you can't even stand up or help yourself or even do self-care, grooming yourself or things like that. And then if you lose your wife or your husband, your partner, for that you have lived with for a long time, and all of a sudden it's no longer there, you have no one to talk with and all these other things to confide with. So it's very depressing for a lot of older people. The retirement, some people are not prepared to retire, so or financially they're not prepared to retire, so they have a problem of their financial difficulties, paying their bills or even housing. for that matter. Uh, Especially with the economy that keeps on going up, it's difficult for the older people now with fixed income, social security, to be able to stay in one place and be able to pay for rent and other things. Also, if they have not prepared for the retirement and they have debts to settle, credit cards are so easy now to when you buy things and just put it in the credit card. So if the older people is not financially savvy, then they could get themselves into big debts by charging in their credit cards and not being able to pay for it. Also losing someone's looks, especially on women, well, men too, some men as well. Looks is very important. Being attractive, being still able to look good, being able to dress well and be able to attract other people. The younger generation now thinks that if a person is older, like for example, 80s or 90s, that they don't really need companionship anymore. They don't need to be attractive so that they could attract partners, but that is not so. It's still there, and the desire to have a partner is still there no matter how old you are. And it's a good feeling when you feel that you could still attract other people. Okay, so senior citizens need all the support you could get from the new generation. It's really very important. The new generation, please accept your younger generation. Please accept your older generation because they need your support. I will say we, because I'm in that generation. We look for your support. We need you. Let us have, let them or let us have a chance to live longer. We could live longer. We are still productive. Some of us, I won't say all of us are still productive, but some of us could still do a lot for the younger generation. We could still contribute to society and be a productive part of society, accept our shortcomings, and let us develop more, even though we are in this so-called older generation. We still have a lot to offer the younger generation. So give us the road to do those things. Give us a chance to prove that we could still do it. Help them in their quest for keeping healthy, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Help them with their physical problems, their emotion problems. Support them when they're feeling low. Support them when they want you there with them. Give them a chance to be able to express their emotions, their feelings towards you, and give them the spirituality that they crave. It's still there. Everything physically, emotionally, health-wise, spiritually, they're still the same person that you used to know. Give them a boost of your young energy. Share with them what you have, rather than telling them that they are at the end of their life. It's no longer what it used to be, that when you turn 65, that's it. you stay home and you read or whatever you need to do and not be active anymore. It is no longer that. Now they're just as active as they could be if they're healthy, emotionally, physically, spirituality. So give them that chance. Give them that fountain of youth that they are seeking. If they are trying to look young, please let them do it. Don't ridicule them because they're having cosmetic surgery. Give them a chance to be attractive and give them a chance to still be out there socially. Help them achieve what they want to strive for the remainder of their lives. They might not have the years that you're expecting them to be, but those years make it as productive as they want it to be. Love them as you too will be going there in the future as well. And my references. So if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Linda. This was excellent information that you shared. And if we have any questions, we will take it